Hello everyone, welcome to our video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn how to deal with calculated fields in queries. To follow this tutorial, you can open your database file that you have been working with, and if you don't have this database file, I just encourage you to watch our previous tutorials so that you can see how we came up with these different objects. So in this tutorial, we are going to work with this table. So I will double click to open it. And our interest is on getting this pay as you earn field calculated. And our pay as you earn field is 10% of wage total. So let's start by creating our query. So we shall go to Create tab, then Query Design. Since we are working with this table known as November, we shall click to add and then close. So after closing, we have to add these field names in the respective fields. So I'm going to click to enlarge on this box so that we can have a view of all the fields. So to add the field names, we shall double click on each field. So as you're double clicking, you can see the field names appearing there. So our interest is on this field for payee or pay as you earn. So we have to perform our calculation from this very field. We shall click in that field, then we put our colon to enable us go ahead with our calculation. So after putting the colon, our next step is now to put the formula that we are going to work with. And we have said the pay is 10% of wage total. 10% implies 10 out of 100. So which is equivalent to 0.1. So we have to put space and then we put our formula as, our formula must be in square brackets. So we put our square bracket and then we type this field name, which is wage total. And it should be correctly spelled as it is here. So we shall say wage total. After typing wage total, we put the square brackets again, then times 0.1. So after doing that, we shall run. So when we run and we go under pay, we can see that the calculation has been performed for us. So that's how we can create a calculated field in a query. So we can now continue and save our query. We right click and click on save. Then we shall call it calculated fields. Then we click on OK, and we have the field name displayed for us. So we can now close this query. Now our next example is to add a new field to our query. Then we go ahead and perform some other calculation. That is, we want to get the balance, because here we say wage total is this and already paid is this. How about the balance? So to do that, we create our query once again from the query design. Then we are working with this table. So we click to add, then close. Then now we have to add our fields by double clicking on each field. So our field that we want to add should come just after pay as you earn field. So we shall click in that field. So this field we are going to call it pay as you we are going to call it balance field, so that we get the balance after subtracting this already paid from wage total. So we shall type balance. Then after giving it a name, we have now to continue and perform our calculation. So we shall put the colon, then we create a space, and then we put our square bracket. We are subtracting already paid from this wage total, so we shall say wage total, then we put our square bracket minus square bracket already paid, then put your square bracket, and you have to ensure that the spellings are correct. After doing that, we are now going to perform our action by clicking on this run button. So when we click on the run button, we can now see here we have our balance field created and also the values there. And the unfortunate part of it, we are seeing the dollar signs, so we don't need the dollar signs. So that means we shall open again our query in design view. So from the design view, we shall make sure we select in this field for balance. Then we activate our property sheet. Then we shall use this format option. We click on it, and then we format our field with Uganda shillings symbol. So we put UGI, and then we format. And we can also say we don't need any decimal place, so we give it 0. If we run, we now expect to see only our fields having Uganda shillings. Where we see UGI X, it means there is no balance, as we can see from wage total is 280,000, already paid is 280,000, implying that it is already cleared. So we are not seeing any value here because of that. So that's how we can introduce a new field to our query and go ahead and perform our calculation. Then when you look at this field for pay, it is blank. The reason is this is a different query which is independent from the one we have just created previously. So if you want this one to also have the values in it, it means we have to do that calculation from this very query. So we can still do it by going to the design view. Then this time around we are going to work with that very field that we want. So we shall first of all close this, then we can access our pay as you earn. Then from there we are going to put our colon. Then we said pay as you earn is 10% of this, so we shall put our square bracket, then we put wage total, then you put the square bracket times 0.1. 0.1 is that 10 out of 100, it gives you the 0.1. Then after doing this, let's now run our query. So when we run our query, we can now see our pay as you earn field having values. So if you want to format it with UGI X or Uganda shilling symbol, then follow the procedures we have followed to come up with this format for these different these different cells. Hope you found this video tutorial useful to you. That's it for now. See you in our next tutorial.